Hey guys, it's Siren, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make Footwork drums. As usual, you can get the project file and samples and MIDI and presets and everything from this video in the description. And if you're a patron on my Patreon, check that because it's already available. And yeah, let's get started. So this is what we heard in the intro. We are at 160 BPM. This is kind of like the standard tempo for a lot of this kind of footwork juke sort of stuff. You could do it a little bit slower, like we did 155 maybe, or like 165. You really want to go crazy, maybe 170, but typically like 160 is a good tempo for this. It still gives everything a bit of room to breathe while still being hectic. The first sound we have here is the 808, which sounds like this. So I'll show you the pattern for this one first. You can see this 808 pattern is all over the place. It's just bouncing around. I've tried really to make it feel like it was never doing the same thing twice, if that makes any sense. And yeah, so you can hear, I mean, we have kind of a basic pattern. Like, it's still following that dum dum dum, that little pattern. I've just got a few different notes, you know, mixed around here and there. But yeah, so basically, I mean, the technique here is you just kind of start with like this. Yeah, really straightforward, and then you just start adding in the extra notes. Not really too difficult. For the sound on this one, I've got just this 808 sample. Here's the original sample. You can hear just like a really fat 808. And then yeah, I just put it into a simpler here. I've got a bit of a pitch envelope on it, so the pitch envelope just helps with the punch at the start of the sound. If you listen, you can hear it has a bit of like a, you know, kind of like a hit to it, like stronger than you would usually have from just an 808 on its own. So that's what this pitch envelope is. Again, here's without it, and then with it, so you can hear what that's adding. And yeah, and then the only effect I have on there is just a bit of saturation. With this style, you know, the drums are pretty dry, to be honest with you. Like, and really a lot of the sounds are pretty dry. Like, that's part of how the style sounds. That being said, a lot of times they're not making the tracks in Ableton like I am. They're making the tracks on like MPCs and different kind of things like that. And those do tend to add a bit of kind of texture and character. So that's what the saturator is doing. It's just helping to fatten up the 808 a little bit, again, without it. And with it, and yeah, just kind of like give it texture and fatness that you wouldn't get just from a dry sample on its own. And that is it for the 808. The next sound we have here is this little pop, as I've called it, which sounds like this. So you can hear this is just this little sample. And it's just basically just bouncing around the whole keyboard here. I'm kind of just following, like it's playing at C. And then it's just all octaves of that. So, you know, this is just like a nice little extra sort of crazy percussion. And you can hear like this on its own. I mean, there's a lot happening. But it's on. Like, it's really more about how this is playing off of all these other elements, like the snare and the tom and stuff like that. That's really making up the whole groove. Now, for the sound on this one, like I said, it's just this little pop sample. I've got it turned down one semitone. And then I just have it going through a saturator, which you can hear is doing a lot of distortion. Here's without it. And then with it, so yeah, you can hear what's going on there. And then I also have an auto filter just cutting out some low end on there. So, you know, that just kind of cleans it up. Sometimes with distortion, you can hear actually it is doing this in this case. The distortion can add a bit of low end, so that just cleans that up. And yeah, that is it for that pop sound. The next sound we have here is the tom, which sounds like this. So it's kind of similar to that pop sound. Again, it's just playing this more like syncopated, kind of off-kilter rhythm. But when you play it together with everything, it all plays together into this cool kind of like mix of all these different percussion sounds. But yeah, this is one that you hear a lot in these kinds of tracks. Basically, like I said, it's just this nice tom sample. And then the key here is how short it is. You can hear I'm only playing a 16th note, so it's like brr, brr, brr. You know, as opposed to if I turn up the release. That's cool too, but I feel like it sounds a lot more authentic when you just have it cut off like that. And yeah, I don't have any effect on that. Like I said, you know, it's a pretty simple little thing. The next sound we have here is this little snare, which sounds like this. So this is basically just, here's the sample. It's just these little sort of short snares that you hear in a lot of these types of tracks. The key here is just a very high pitched snare. If you listen to this, it's tuned up like way higher than like an 808 snare or something like that would be. And then again, I just have that kind of bouncing between the octaves. Kind of playing all those bouncing notes, and that is it for the snare. The next thing that we have here is the clap, which sounds like this. So the clap is pretty important in the style. Basically, you can hear this one is just sort of like a hard-hitting, sort of like trap style clap. That's usually the type of stuff you want to use here. But yeah, and then I just have this in a simpler. You can see I've got it going through a bit of reverb. The reverb here, you know, usually you don't want to go too crazy, especially when you have a really like hectic beat like this where a lot of stuff is going on. But because this sound is so sparse and there's a lot of room in between the notes, you actually do kind of have some nice room to add a bit of reverb with this style. And then I've also got a drum bus after the reverb. So this is just fattening the clap up. Here's without it. And then with it. So yeah, just adding a bit more texture to the sound. I like this after the reverb as well because the drum bus, or I guess I should say saturated reverb, is a nice texture. But yeah, and then the other thing with this is the programming. You can see it's pretty much just playing straight on the 3 all the way through the track until we get to this part. So you can hear at this point, I have it actually happening an 8th note late. So this is a good thing to do. Again, a lot of this stuff is being played in live in these tracks in like an MPC or something like that. And so a lot of times like they'll just throw something in there like that kind of on the fly. And so if you're going to just sit here and program it the way I've done, you want to do stuff like that to kind of mix it up. And I also have like this little thing. That did it. With the clap. So, you know, just adding a few extra things in there so it's not just on the 3 every single time the whole way through the beat. Next thing that we have here is this drum rack with hi-hats, which sounds like this. Basically what's happening here is we have 2 hi-hats. We have sort of like a closed hi-hat and an open one. And then you can see I just had them in a drum rack here, just playing this crazy pattern. This, just like everything else, you know, I was trying to just make something that wasn't just really one straight thing the whole way through. Like, you know, what I wouldn't want to have happen would be something like this. That sounds cool because it's very like, you know, it's got a lot of repetition, so your brain likes hearing stuff like that, but this is a lot more interesting. So yeah, you can see it's just alternating between these two just kind of at random times, and then I've also got a few extra little 30-second notes, like those kind of things. Yeah, pretty simple. And then the thing here with this one is the way I have the drum rack set up. So you can see I have the choke on both of these sounds set to 1. Basically what this means is that when one sound is playing, the other one will stop. So like if I hit this open hi-hat, as soon as I hit the closed one, it stops. So this is important because we have all those things there. If you let this like just ring out over top of the other one, it doesn't sound as good, and it kind of just takes up too much space. But yeah, so that is the hi-hats. And then the last sound that we have here is this little siren, which I made with operator, and it sounds like this. So I want to throw something in here that wasn't just percussion that I could still give away to you guys. because it wasn't like a sample or anything like that. So I threw in this little siren here. So this is just playing F sharp in this octave, and then this one an octave up. Really simple stuff, and all this is actually is just a saw wave inside of operator going into a pitch envelope. The pitch envelope is what's making it go like that. Yeah, really simple stuff. You can just see I have it turned down, so that's why it's going like up like that. And then it shows that going into a chorus. So you can hear the chorus just helps to make it sound more like an actual like siren and less like, I guess, just a dry synth. And then the last thing I have on there is just a ping pong delay, and I have this on half notes. So this is really slow. It's just going like that, like not really like, you know, that long. Just a few kind of well spaced out delays there. And yeah, that is it for the siren. It's a pretty simple sound, and that is also going to be it for this video, guys. So I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Once again, you can get the project file and samples and all that kind of stuff from this video in the description. And if you're a patron on my Patreon, check there because it's already available. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.